Greetings. We continue today. Our study of the marriage of the Lamb came from Revelation 19, 7 through 9. This is part number 3. Now, some might wonder why such a declaration appears at this point in the narrative of the book of Revelation. And I believe we can find the answer to this question in Deuteronomy chapter 20 and verse 7, where it says, "And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her." These are regulations concerning warfare. A marriage must be consummated before the man may go to war. Now, look, the very next thing which happens in Revelation 19 is the glorious appearing, the revelation of Christ to deliver Israel from her oppressors by winning the victory at the Battle of Armageddon. This is just another proof, I think, of a pre-tribulation rapture of the saints with a shout, as described in 1 Thessalonians 4, 13 through 18. Remember, the bride, the Lamb's wife, is not actually presented until Revelation chapter 21, verses 9 and 10. Now, let's look at the point. The bride has made herself ready. 2 Corinthians 11:1, Paul says, I wish before God that you could bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me, for I'm jealous over you with a godly jealousy. For I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ." I ask, do these verses not clearly imply that they could become or had become unchaste in their espousal? And I answer, most certainly that is implied. 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20 says it this way, "What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which you have of God, and you're not your own, for you are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's." Paul said in Galatians 2, in verse 20, "I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. I do not frustrate the grace of God. For if righteousness come by the law, then Christ is dead in vain." Ephesians 5:25 through 27. "Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might cleanse and sanctify it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish." This begs the question, what is to be done with those who are judged unholy, unsanctified, and blemished? Are they, as some spiritual socialism today suggests, to be rewarded equally with those who are judged to be holy, sanctified, and without blemish? I think Matthew 22, verses 8 through 14, speak of one who was invited to the wedding feast, but upon examination did not have a wedding garment, so he was cast out. Now, some say that these are lost people who wind up in hell. And yet Revelation 19:7 plainly states that the bride, the Lamb's wife, has done something to prepare herself. I need to emphasize here that those who teach a universal church almost always teach a universal bride concept. That is, they teach to be in the bride of Christ, all one must do is to be born into the family of God. The family of God is no more equal to the bride of Christ than my bride is equal to her family. I understand why it's necessary for them to teach such a thing, but I submit that it is not the teaching of the Bible. Dr. Criswell, in volume 5, pages 29 and 30, points out that the Roman custom of wearing two robes was understood and practiced in New Testament times. There was an inner robe called a tunic, which was the equivalent of our underwear. There was also an outer garment called a toga, which was the equivalent of our outerwear or clothing.